UFC 322 was a crazy night. Double champ status for Islam Makhachev. He dominated JDM. Weili Zhang got dominated. Sean Brady, Leon Edwards, and Benoit Saint-Denis all got knocked out in pretty vicious fashion. But still, none of those people had the worst night at UFC 322. The worst night out of anybody that was in Madison Square Garden for UFC 322 the other night was Dillon Danis. He got jumped by Khabib and Islam's team, the Muslim Brotherhood, as Dana White called it. He got jumped, beaten up again, lost 80K in one night by putting 80K on Jack Della Maddalena, and was banned from the UFC for life. And John Pork, the star grows because he was involved in the brawl. So in this video, we are going to get into what happened in the brawl that happened in the stands at UFC 322. If this is your first time seeing my channel, my name is Wyatt. This is Fight Society. Let's get into it. All right, guys, so before we get into it, do me a huge favor. Please like and subscribe. It helps push my videos out to more people, help grow this thing out even bigger. Tweet right here from Parampam1990. Dillon Danis put 80K on JDM to beat Makhachev, got beaten up again and banned for life, and lost 80K. All of this while having to watch Islam become the GOAT of the sport in front of his eyes. If taking an L was a person. Now, this is a filter. His eyes are not... We're not that fucked up. And Islam, in my opinion, is not the GOAT of the sport just yet, but he's top 5 for sure, and he passed up Khabib. Now, John Pork, viral meme sensation, literally crazy how brain rot TikTok things made a UFC superstar better than the UFC marketing department. Performance of the night goes to John Pork, or so they say, punching Dillon Danis in the back of the head during the brawl. But here we have from @HotTakesApp. This right here is the best angle of the brawl in the crowd last night. Of course, the fight was focused around Dillon Danis. He is banned from UFC events. Now, here we are, the best angle that you can see right here. I'm going to turn the sound off so I don't get copyrighted. You see Chanko right here. You see Abubakar Nurmagomedov, former UFC fighter right here. This is in the UFC fighter section. And we have a few different angles we'll get to, but this is the best one. You see Dillon Danis is over here. He starts walking his way over. That's him right there. That's Abubakar Nurmagomedov right there. He takes off his hat. You have Dillon Danis. You can see him right there in the back. And then the punches start getting thrown. And the Dagestani Brotherhood jumps. They even grab a chair. Security has to wrestle a chair out of a guy's hand. You have security getting beat up. Muslim Brotherhood, Dagestani team. Look, they're literally, he got packed out. You know what I'm saying? Shoreline Mafia fans, y'all know what I mean by packed out. But there you have Dillon Danis and a UFC security guard getting beaten up. Dillon Danis getting jumped while UFC security holds him on the ground. It's funny in some ways, but in other ways, holy shit, this is some cowardice from Team Makhachev, Team Khabib. You got to jump a guy 10-on-1, 20-on-1. And the last time we saw something like this, Connor brought 30 guys over on a private jet to New York, this same arena. And that's how the bus incident happened. We'll get to that in a moment. But here you have, they're getting stomped out. You see Dillon Danis getting punched in the back of the head, stomped out. UFC security trying to break it up. They're pulling guys off. And something to take a look at here is this guy right here in the white and black jacket, just a random guy. The Dagestani Brotherhood turns on him. Look, all the Dagestani guys, look, and I don't know why. He made a big mistake even walking in the first place. But I mean, you see, even these are journalists right here. This is, fuck, I can't remember his name, but this is a journalist right here. You see, they're still going. They can't get it under control. Right here, that one guy in the white jacket gets pulled away. They're trying to separate it. It's looking like it's starting to get split up. And now you got the Dagestani Brotherhood getting pressed. They're pressing this random ass kid. There we go. Now it's really a mess. Even DC started responding to it on the commentary. DC and Rogan were like turning around during the commentary in between like the start of the main card. They turned around. DC and Rogan went and were like, what the hell's going on over there? And of course, you know, so many people involved. It's such a mess. And with all of that, yeah, Raul Rosas right here. It's just so random. There you go. And, you know, it's starting to calm down a little bit. It's in the fighter section, so they're trying to clear all this out. Chanko getting escorted out right here. And look, now they're freaking donkey kicking or drop kicking this random white kid right here. If you see right here, another one of Islam's teammates right here, boom, trying to drop kick this random ass white kid. And then look at this, dude. They're all over this kid. And he didn't even do anything. He was just in the crowd. He might have been yapping a little shit, which is really dumb on him. Saying like, yo, y'all jumping him. But now they're going after this random kid in the crowd. Look at that. Like this, and then you look, now he gets dumped over and they're carrying him away. It's so bad. NYPD's in there. Imagine if President Trump was there. He didn't go to this event, but imagine if President Trump was there. Secret Service would be fucking guns drawn, dude. They do not play about that shit, even if it had nothing to do with Trump or any of that. Dillon Danis got packed out and arrested, or almost arrested, and just some random kid in the crowd that was like, yo, stop. He got fucking packed out too. They're drop kicking him. They're like, who's next? It's fucked up, but it's funny. And here you have another angle of the brawl that took place. You see they're really trying to get to Dillon Danis. Dillon Danis is on the ground right here, being restrained by UFC security, Madison Square Garden security. And look, they're just stomping on him. NYPD right here trying to get in there and break it up. They're trying to pull Chonko off of Dillon Danis. Now they're over here. Other people are getting punched. People getting punched in the back of the head. It's freaking crazy. This is such a bad look for the UFC. Massive. Look, he's getting stomped on, dude. Dillon Danis got packed out, bro. Camera guy getting up on the cage. Oh my God, it's such a mess. This is supposed to be the biggest, really bad look for the UFC before going into a massive Paramount deal where you have the gambling scandal and now a fucking brawl taking place at your biggest event of the year so far. And here's another one. This says Metaverse POV. This is from Cutman Tate, you know, the one that Charles Oliveira picks up. A lot of you guys know Cutman Tate, but you see this right here. It breaks out fast, and they're throwing punches to the back of the head. They're stomping him out, and there's Dillon Danis right here with the red shoes. They're grabbing chairs. They're running around, and Dillon Danis is on the bottom of all of this. Look, he's getting stomped on right here. Dillon Danis is getting stomped on while being held down by UFC security. And even right here, you see Chonko and Dillon Danis. Chonko's throwing shots to the back of the head on Dillon Danis. Sneak shots. I mean, this is crazy and I get to make content about it, but this is some pussy shit. 10-on-1, 15-on-1, just packing them out. John Pork's in there. This says Khabib's boys. This is from MZ0 saying, Khabib's boys kicked Dillon Danis so bad he ended up crying. I don't think he was crying. You'll see in a sec. Here he is right here getting escorted out by security. It doesn't seem like he was crying. It actually sounds like he was drunk. But here he is here. He's trying to grab his shoe. Hunter Campbell right here going fucking crazy. This is literally Dana White's right-hand man. This is Dana White's replacement once Dana White retires. And here he is having to break up a fucking fight. Abubakar Nurmagomedov having to be restrained by a UFC executive. Crazy. He sounds drunk, but he says, and I get arrested? They jump me and I get arrested? He goes, they jump me and I get arrested? No one's getting arrested? Holding his red shoe. And then you hear the crowd, oh, and they all start pointing, and that's because that other kid is getting jumped. Yeah, you see over here, we already showed that angle. Now that random white kid is getting freaking drop kicked and socked out by Team Dagestan. I'm going to cut the sound so I don't get copyrighted, but the UFC is trying to drown out all the sound with hella noise, and the DJ's just playing rock music. But look at this, the floor seats. This is a mess. And now they're trying to break this up. It's such a mess. This lady needs to get out of there. She's going to get hit too. Cameramen, production people, they need to get out of there. It needs to be law enforcement and fighters only in there. And Dillon saying, I didn't do anything. Of course, Dillon did not throw the first punch. That is true. Dillon Danis did not throw the first punch. And you see people like this saying you talk with that mouth and someone's going to pay you back with a kick. Now, I know plenty of people are like, yeah, we hate Dillon Danis. Fuck Dillon Danis. It's good that he got packed out by a bunch of dudes that aren't even from this country that could get deported for this. I was raised by parents that said, sticks and stones will break my bones, but names will never hurt me. But words will never hurt me. For these guys to get so riled up about words is honestly pretty beta. If you ask me, it's pretty beta. It's pretty mentally weak. Of course, great for me to make content about this. It's a big deal. People are talking about it. John Pork's involved, one of the most viral people in the UFC who hasn't even made his UFC debut yet. This is pussy shit, dude. This is pussy ass shit to get this riled up and pack somebody out at an event. And he's getting escorted out, blah, blah, blah. They're getting him out of there. And Javier Mendez, who's one of the coaches at AKA and Makhachev's cornerman, says Javier Mendez told Submission Radio that Dillon Danis was showing an AI video of Islam and Ali kissing to the Dagestan section. This is one of the reasons that the fight started. Javier also mentioned that Dillon was mocking the religion of Islam. That's what they said. That's the reason. And even people right here, everyone hates Dillon Danis, bro, but jumping someone 10v1 is definitely gay. I'm not defending Dillon, but he was not showing the video to that section. He walked by to take pictures with a couple of fans and Islam's team goes berserk. So the people are like, yeah, fuck Dillon Danis, but y'all are whack for packing him out for no reason. Literally got jumped at a UFC event. And this right here is Islam Makhachev, who just became one of the best fighters of all time in terms of legacy, getting asked about Dillon Danis getting jumped by his team.
And just last one, you're obviously getting ready for the fight backstage and a huge brawl breaks out with some of your teammates and Dillon Danis. Dana was in here talking about it. He said it was his fault letting them sit too close to each other. But was that a distraction at all, or what did you think of all that?
When you talk about someone like last 5 years you talk about someone, when you meet them, как будет ты должен отвечать за свои слова.
You have to answer to what you said.
You have to answer what you said, you know. And today, I don't think he answered, you know. And he still say a lot of bad things about our team. And today he coming and somebody just meet him. He talk about this guy's bad, and today the guys just meet him. That's it.
Dana said he's banned from UFC events for life, so he'll never be back to one.
He have to ban from this country also.
Yeah, so Dillon Danis should be banned from this country, but Ali Abdelaziz, who's the manager of all of these guys, and of course we've done videos about Ali Abdelaziz, but Ali Abdelaziz, the manager of all of these guys, who was in terrorist extremist groups and double agent with this group in the FBI, terrorist snitch, as Conor McGregor said, he's allowed in the country. He's allowed in the country, but Dillon Danis, born and raised in New York, should get banned from the country. And this is just the entitlement that you see from these guys. They're not even from here, which is fine. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with not being from here, but they're not from here. And they're saying that someone that is from here should get banned from the country because he talked bad about them and their friends. I mean, it's just pussy to me. And this is Dana White's reaction to the whole thing, which he bans Dillon Danis. I don't agree with everything Dana White says here, so we'll get into this right here.
We'll never see Dillon Danis at a UFC fight ever again.
But I was right there on press row when that crazy brawl broke out with Dillon Danis and the member of Khabib's team and stuff. Can you just tell us how disappointed you were to see that and any insight into the fallout?
I blame myself for that, actually. They came back and told me right before I walked out for the main card that Dillon Danis was here and he was moving around, sitting in fighter seats and not sitting in his own seat that he had a ticket.
So that's a big mistake by Dillon Danis, to be buying a ticket and then sneaking into the fighters section.
And they said, do you want us to throw him out of here? And I said, he has a ticket? And I said, yeah. And they told me, they said, Masvidal said he's going to fuck him up on site.
Quick break. If you're loving this video and you want more from Fight Society, click that join button down below to become a channel member today, where you'll get access to members only live streams, behind the scenes vlogs, and all the unfiltered stuff that we don't post to the main channel. Back to the video.
And I said, well, where's Masvidal sitting? He said, well, he's 6 or 7 rows away from Masvidal. I said, well, if the guy has a ticket, let him sit in his seat and let him do what he's doing. And keep an eye on him. It never even crossed my mind, as stupid as this could be, that the entire Muslim Brotherhood was here tonight in the first 5 rows for Islam. And as soon as it broke out, I was over on the other side and I go, fuck, I know exactly what that is. I knew it. And yeah, you will never see Dillon Danis at a UFC fight ever again.
Yeah. I was going to say, he's wanted badly to come in this company, and he said you guys don't want to sign him because he makes too much trouble.
That's what doesn't make sense to me is you buy a ticket and you get jumped. I know he snuck into the fighter section, but he got jumped by 10 people. He didn't even start it. And he's banned from the UFC. But Chanko, Umar Nurmagomedov, all these other people that were involved, no repercussions from them. The same guys that jumped Conor in the cage and jumped Dillon Danis at UFC 229. No repercussions from them. But Dillon Danis, of course.
Well, I guess point made.
Well, that and a lot of other reasons,
Yeah.
but yeah, you'll never see him at another fight. So they called me from downstairs and they said, we got him down here. Do you want to press charges and have him arrested? And I said no.
So no, they're asking if we want to press charges on Dillon Danis, although he was literally the victim of a brutal assault. He instigated it online and all of that, but he did not throw the first punch. He was by himself, no security, outmanned, and got jumped. That's what happened. And Ali Abdelaziz, who should be banned from the country himself for a lot of reasons, actually real reasons, says last night at the fight was an unfortunate situation. In this internet world we live in, people think that they can say anything, do anything, and bully others without consequence. Literally coming from the guy that bullied Aiden Ross just this past week. But you have to understand, when you do something, you will be held accountable for it. Your words and actions towards people have a price, but he didn't have any actions. They were just words. This is the same reason so many children around the world get bullied. Nobody holds the bullies accountable. Shut the fuck up, Ali Abdelaziz. You're such an idiot, bro. You just bullied Aiden Ross. And especially with this team, they are some of the most respectful and honorable people you will ever meet. Interesting. But don't cross the line. If you do, you will face consequences of your actions. God bless you. Have a nice day. Little quotation mark at the end as well. He forgot to remove the quotation mark because ChatGPT wrote this tweet for him. There's so much wrong with this. Here's what I have to say about them being the most respectful team in the world. So they're the most respectful people in the world, but they corner Artem Lobov at UFC 223, slap him with a group of 1, 2, 3, and a few other guys, like 8 people, while Artem Lobov is by himself with UFC personnel. And they're the most respectful people in the world. And of course, this is what led to the infamous bus attack at UFC 223 with Conor and Khabib, where the dolly got thrown. You guys remember all of this. Conor throws the dolly. He got arrested. This was because of them bullying somebody. So it's interesting how often this group and their fans excuse all of their behavior and say, oh, we're just defending ourselves and protecting our friends and family and all this stuff. When they start the fight, it's also not their fault. It doesn't make any sense to me. Their fan base as well. This right here, MMA Guru saying he's been given death threats.
I get death threats and shit all the time. I get death threats. Their fans send pictures of like young people in my family and like their primary schools and say things that they're going to do about it. But I'm worried about my fucking outburst on stream of whether or not I'm going to get a sentence for it. You know what I mean? It's a very different dynamic in the world, but that is how it is.
They're such a respectful group of people. They're such a respectful group. They're bragging about jumping somebody like Chanko did. And he's doing like a press tour bragging about jumping somebody and punching them in the back of the head like it's a massive dub. And this is what happens. Of course, they're going to see it one way. Dillon Danis and other people are going to see it the other way, the way that I'm seeing it. And I've gotten some nasty comments before. I've gotten people with near-death threats and threats of violence. It's never been a North American. It's never been a European. You can figure out yourself who says that. But only the really like threats of violence, we're going to do this to you, find where you live. And I'm not as big as Guru, of course, so I haven't gotten anywhere near as many or as vicious, but it's never from Westerners is what I'll say. Those people just call me an idiot. They just say my takes are bad. You have the worst takes on the internet. You're an idiot. This guy is a pussy. Whatever they want to call him or call me, but they don't threaten my life. It's happened like once or twice. So their take on that doesn't make any sense. It's not like they're defending the greater good or some shit like that. But misfits right here because Dillon Danis versus Anthony Taylor in an MMA fight is the co-main event to Andrew Tate versus Chase Demore on December 20th. And Misfits Boxing said, following the altercation at UFC 322 between Dillon Danis and members of Islam Makhachev's team, Misfits Boxing can confirm that Dillon remains welcome at all Misfits events moving forward. And this is in Dubai. So you might see some of the Makhachev team in Dubai to press Dillon Danis again. I'm sure they'll be more on their best behavior because there is the death penalty for basically any crime on that side of the world. But you can imagine they'll be there. And even leading up to this incident, everything seemed fine. I mean, this is him dapping up GSP. He took a picture with Alex Pereira. People were not upset that he was there, actually. But now that he gets jumped, it's like, oh yeah, he talked a lot of shit. It's like, man, say something better. Talk some shit back. You guys just sit there and go, oh, blah, 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 and then jump somebody. You guys sit there and twiddle your thumbs, never say anything, and then jump somebody, threatening his life, punching him in the back of the head, the spine, stomping him out. He could die. He could die from that type of getting jumped. Some people have been asking me just who is Dillon Danis. I know he's a very well-known, disliked figure in the sport at this point, but a few people in the comments were asking who he is. And basically, former jiu-jitsu world champion, pro MMA fighter, kind of, training partner of Conor McGregor. He trained with Conor McGregor for about a year and a half. And that's basically the only thing that got Dillon Danis the clout that he has. He's just been a troll online since. And I'm not saying he deserved this, but this keeps him relevant. So I'm sure at the end of the day, he's probably pretty happy about this. So John Pork beats up Dillon Danis. He gets kicked out. Apparently, this is what caused all of it because Dillon Danis was posting things like this. He's still allowed to be at Misfits, and he's going to fight on the undercard of Andrew Tate, actually the co-main event. It's going to be a massive event. I'll probably do a fight night watch party for that or something like that because it'll be a big event. Basically, my final take is Dillon Danis doesn't deserve to get jumped for words. I just don't think that that's how things should get handled, in my opinion. It is what it is. He's going to get more famous off of this. This fight right here is even bigger because of this. Jumping somebody 10-on-1, 20-on-1 over words is whack. It's whack. And it's weak, it's pussy, beta male shit. So let me know your thoughts down below. By no means am I a Dillon Danis fan. By no means am I saying that he's the good guy in all of this, but he is the victim of a brutal assault, and he's the one getting the punishment for it. He's getting banned from the UFC. It's not like any of these other guys. Chonko's not going to get banned from the UFC. How does that make sense? So let me know your thoughts down below. Do you want more from Fight Society? Like and subscribe below this video and click the join button to become a channel member today to get access to behind the scenes vlogs and members only live streams.